Hey everyone. Um, Thought for the day was try not to make generalizations. Um, I was listening to a podcast by Joe Rogan with John Joseph, who is used to be, well, he's from the Cro-Mags hardcore American hardcore band, and he's a big plant-based guy. And Joe Rogan's, if you don't know, he's just he's there's one of the biggest podcasts in the world, I guess. And he's pretty much not plant based at the time of recording this. Anyway, he's done the carnivore diet and various other things. He's quite into his hunting, or he has been at some points. Um, and yeah, he's had people on, like, sort of some of his guests. Had people on trying to debunking the Game Changers documentary and things like this. So there's a few times where I mean, I like some of his podcasts. I did listen to them for a while, but sort of after a while, sometimes I struggle a little bit because it's sort of his podcast draws you in because they talk for hours and they explore issues, and it feels like they're going into detail about things, and you just definitely cover lots of topics that interesting topics, and talks a lot about them and gets some people on with some interesting points of view. But he does say some of his points. I don't know how to explain it. It's hard because obviously, when you hear him, he's having people on trying to debunk veganism, and you're a vegan and have been for years, and you used to eat meat. It's that whole thing where I'm vegan, but I've only been vegan for a number of years, so I was all about eating meat and all sorts, dairy and all the rest of it up to that point. I'm not going to go into too much detail now about why I switched, but the interview started off with John Joseph. So he does lots of Ironmans, and he's a big cyclist, and he went through a lot of problems, and he got himself kind of clean, and he's into his yoga and sort of spirituality. And the interview started off, the Joe Rogan interview with John Joseph started off, and he immediately, Joe Rogan immediately said, there's a lot of, I'm excited to have you on here because there's a lot of kind of friction between vegans and non-vegans, and John Joseph sort of started. He said, "Well, actually, I don't really call myself. I don't sort of identify as a vegan. Like, obviously, he says he lives 100%, plant-based diet, and he doesn't use any animal products. But his angle is that he's sort of saying, like, there's a lot of the toxic kind of vegan crowd on social media, and he doesn't want to be a part of that. Like, it's not the biggest part of his identity, and that's fair enough. And Joe Rogan was saying, like, what was his point? About how people use it, the toxicity on social media and how people use it for a platform, and maybe their points, they haven't got that great a point to make, and they use it for use it as a way to get attention and to give their opinion. And first one thought was, well, you're not seeing the irony in this, because he's there with a big podcast and obviously gets his points out there, and gets has guests on that reinforce his points, and I'm not knocking him. He's got a good podcast, but he says some cringeworthy things that I'm sure we all do, but just the way that he's sort of talking about, it's like he's latched onto it, the fact that John Joseph isn't, he's not he's kind of, John Joseph almost feels like he's disowning himself of the term vegan. He calls himself plant based, and I mean, I look up to him. Like, I think he's definitely an inspiration, and I'm just now starting to. I don't really know his music. From I don't know the Cro-Mags. I'm sure I've heard some of their songs, but I'm going to try and listen to it. But also listening to one of his audio books, the PMA one, and I'll probably listen to the Chrome whatever it is, the the kind of autobiography one. I can't remember what it's called, but the John Joseph one about him. I guess it's his whole story coming up. I guess from being a kid and then all the stuff he went through: prison, drugs, violence, and all his family stuff, and being in the band, I guess, and now obviously now what he's doing with his Iron Mans and his plant based and everything. But yeah, I definitely he's this kind of kind of brash. He's got this cool kind of New York kind of accent, and he talks he's straight talking, and like it's cool. He's yeah, I guess it's refreshing, but yeah, and he's obviously he's sort of said, look, I don't call myself a vegan, and he goes out and he does a lot of work with people, like kind of not care work, but sort of like helping people who've been through, I think people maybe coming out of prison or people who are going through tough times, or help them, help them get fit and help them get, more positive in life and all that. So he doesn't go up to someone who, he'll get someone on the he was saying he'll get someone on a plant-based diet and help them train. He won't say like, look, I'm going to make you vegan. You got to, stop wearing leather shoes and stop wearing wool, stop wearing woolly jumpers and stuff like this. He's like, I'm not about that. I just want to, he doesn't feel it's his place to kind of judge people or tell people that, but he is obviously about that, and he lives that life, but he doesn't feel that he needs to kind of like tell people kind of ram veganism down their throat, which is fair enough. And I also agree with what Joe Rogan was saying. There's a lot of people, the toxicness. I hate because I've been on YouTube. Well, obviously I'm on YouTube, but in other in other kind of contexts when you're having conversations. I think I talked about it on another video when it's like, you mention you're vegan and it's almost that's the jump off point for sort of people who are, non-vegan or even anti-vegan to just dive in and start calling you a pussy and all this sort of stuff and usual jokes. So yeah, I agree. There is loads of toxicity, and but hopefully, one of the points they both kind of mentioned was that there's, if you're vegan, then you're not just a vegan. You do all sorts of things. And John Joseph says he's more into yoga. He calls himself more of a yoga guy than he would call himself a vegan guy. You know what I mean? And so I get what he's saying, and I think Joe Rogan also was saying that that's he's seen the same thing happen with the he's not just kind of dissing vegans and saying they're all like this and that. He's also saying about the people on the carnivore diet and hunters that they just identify so strongly with that particular thing and push that one area of their life on social media, and then it just becomes this battle. And you send Republicans and Democrats, you pick a side, and then it's just battling out, and it really is like that. Like social media is there's not a lot of, I don't want to say it because I'm generalizing myself, and I'm trying to say that, trying to move away from generalizing, but you certainly see a lot of that polarized stuff, the polarized arguments. So yeah, but yeah, it's kind of like almost in talking about vegans doing that, it's like you're saying vegans, you're using the term, you're talking about vegans doing that, but he's not saying certain vegans or vegans with a bad attitude or vegans with with an angry personality. It's just vegans do this, and it's almost kind of the whole point he was trying to make was that to not judge people or not categorize people or put them into a box. But then he's putting people into a box in a way, and obviously there's different ways to take what he said, but that was just my thought. That's just my take on it and my thoughts on it. And I'm going to listen to the rest of it. There's hours of it still, but yeah, are going to get through all that. And it's an interesting one. I'm looking forward to hearing more from John Joseph and hearing how those two interact and how it all goes. But anyway, that was just my thoughts. What I'm eating is just a leftover salad from earlier. I was going to just eat. Originally, I was going to just eat the salad, but I thought I don't want this to make. I don't want to make out like I'm just eating salad here, because truth be told, I made a some homemade garlic bread or garlic pizza, whatever, for my kid, and this is just a fries vegan sausage roll. So I was like, let's be real here. I'm not just eating salad today. I had some carby sort of junk stuff as well. Because yeah, I definitely do like my junk food, and but I think I'm like 5 or 6 years into vegan now, and definitely slowly moving away. I remember when the Beyond Burgers first came out, I was all about them. I loved them, but now it's a bit kind of like quite fatty, oily. Like any burger, well, not like any burger, a lot of burgers, but I still have them, and I wouldn't, if I was out and there was a burger van selling them, I'd probably get one. I'd buy, I'm not really massively into the kind of seitan, fake chicken stuff either. But that being said, if I was out and there was a van there and I was hungry, I'd probably still get it, because I do like, I do like that stuff, and also like kind of supporting, small vegan businesses, or there's like a food truck, it's like kind of going for that option. Same in the supermarket. Sometimes if you see new brands coming out, new vegan, plant-based brands, I like to try those things, even though things like, say, like the pucker pies. I'm not a massive pie eater, but pucker pies, which I guess is maybe a brand possibly just in the UK. Not sure anyone watching this from outside the UK may not know what pucker pies is, but just your traditional kind of like pastry pie filled with whatever mix of veggies. I mean, obviously, yeah. So they did a couple, and I tried both of the pies, and I'm probably not going to buy them again. Not because I liked them; I thought they were great, and they were pretty cheap as well. Yeah, I liked them, but I'm just not really a big pie eater. But I kind of wanted to get it to try it, because yeah, sometimes it's a shame just seeing like kind of cool looking vegan and plant-based stuff on the shelves, and yeah, I kind of want to support it and put my green pound their way, if you know what I mean. But yeah, yeah, so maybe one day I'll be 80% whole food plant-based, but or 95%. I'm probably about 70% now, I guess. But yeah, love my salad. Probably one of the favourite dishes is just salad with a jacket potato, and maybe a little bit of chutney and stuff, or some pickles. But yeah, it's so good. Do like pizza. Don't get it loads, but there's some good, decent vegan pizza. I'll be all over it. This is just I think it's White Rabbit nude base, just a plain pizza base, and I just made a garlic and oil kind of mix in mortar and pestle with a bit of seasoning. Just spread it on there, just because the kid likes it. But yeah, I'm going to stop this here, because this doesn't need to be another 20-25 minute video. I think I've said what I wanted to say. Hopefully I get some comments one day. I've only just started. I don't know how it all works on YouTube with the algorithms and stuff, but probably the only person watching these at the moment is me. But you never know, maybe one day I'll get some other people viewing and commenting. But yeah, Maybe I'll have my own merch one day. But yeah, putting it out there. Anyway, thanks for watching and listening. If you did, sorry if the video's a bit crap, but this is just one of my ways of getting through the lockdown at the moment, to be honest, making these videos. So yeah, anyway, bye.